Everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another Rumour Has It video. The window may not be open, but doesn't stop Newcastle United being linked to loads of players, especially with this World Cup going on. There's loads of players there that everyone's looking at and linking to Newcastle United, especially with our newfound current wealthy status and our top four status as well in the Premier League. So we're going to get stuck into this in a minute. We've got a fantastic player to talk about here, a striker nonetheless. Now, it may be utter bullshit or it might be something in it, but we're going to have a look at his stats and just see how he looks for us as a target. As I've always said, and we always say, we're not an ITK channel. We don't do any of that crap in here at all. It's just literally reporting on players linked in the media and just looking at the stats and seeing how we think they'd fit into the club. But just before we do a little bit of housekeeping, if you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. We're on about 2,068 subscribers, I think, now. So we're close to 2,070. We'd love you to push us over the 2,100 mark. So smash that button, all free content. Just pop up videos like this. And normally our 2 weekly free podcasts that we do Mondays and Wednesdays. All just Newcastle United banter, no charge. Just come and join us. You'll not regret it. Right, so let's get stuck in then. So who is the player that we are talking about? We're talking about this lad right here, who's an absolute international superstar goal machine. It is Dušan Vlahović from Juventus. Now, we have been linked to Dušan before when all the money came into the club in the first place. He was one of the first big names that was getting thrown out by a lot of media outlets in terms of strikers that we were going to buy. We ended up buying Chris Wood, as it happens. In January, he went to Juventus. So a little bit of a shift in gear, that was, to be fair. But this lad is a quality player. There's no doubt about that. He's been at Juventus since January 2022. He was obviously at Fiorentina before that. You can see 180 appearances, 49 goals, 5 assists. Brilliant strike rate there. And then obviously he was linked to us, whether it was paper talk or not. But then he made the move to Juventus. He took Ronaldo's number 7 shirt, or vacant number 7 shirt, in the January. Last season, he banged in 29 goals, I think, in 45 appearances for Juventus, I think it was. So he banged in quite a few. Or so that was a mixture of, Fiorentina, beg your pardon, and Juventus kind of combined, because he had half a season one place and half a season the other. So just looking at where he sits this season in terms of his stats before we get stuck into his per 90. So this season he's had 15 games in total and 7 goals, 6 of those in Serie A and 1 in the Champions League. So that's 6 goals and 10 appearances. So he's not been too bad in terms of statistics as a striker. But the reason that we're talking about this lad, apparently the story goes that he has been, apart from the fact doing quite well, he has been criticised over there. And apparently that he's not adapted to Allegri's tactics so far. So this is one of the reasons why they're potentially looking at moving him out, which happens to a lot of strikers. I mean, if you look at Dušan as a player, you know, he's big, he's strong, he's quick. He's got rapid pace for a big lad, brilliant control, you know, great touch on him, you know, can roll a player. He's strong, he's good in the air. He's a hell of a finisher, as Mark's put there, one of his key strengths. He's a really, really good centre forward, and he's only 22 years old, so he's got a hell of a lot of more potential ahead of him. If you look at him alongside Haaland, I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good as Haaland, obviously, but he has that kind of Haaland-style potential. I think he really could kick on and go to the next level and become this massive mega-star striker. You know, he's done very well in his career already. You can see there, even internationally, he's got 9 goals and 18 appearances for Serbia, and he is a very, very good centre forward. But if he's not fitting into the style of play over there, and Serie A can be quite ruthless for players. You know, they can chew good players up and spit them out. And then especially with the financial issues that a lot of the clubs have there, especially, you know, like Juventus, you know, one of the teams who are going to run away and start the greedy ESL, desperate for an influx of cash. You know, they might find it hard to knock back Newcastle United's interest in their players, especially with the money that they're going to play or potentially pay. But just look at some of the stats that Dušan has over 90 minutes and how he compares to the other strikers. This is across the 5 European leagues. You can see there per 90 minutes, his goal-to-game ratio, you know, he's got 0.62, so he's in the 89 percentile, very high for striker. His XG is up at 82 as well. His shots, 3.5 shots a game, is in the 90 percentile, and a shot on target, more importantly. Out of those 3.5, he's getting 1.54 of them on target, 95 percentile. So you can see he's really, really good in the greens there in terms of a proper centre forward. His goals to shot ratio is slightly down, but he's still in the 69 percentile. Dribble completion, he's not fantastic. and his pass completion, you can see, is a little bit low as well, as is his key passing. So I think at the minute, he's certainly this season, and again, it might be what's alluded to in the piece here. Now, the piece I'm reading here is from Court Offside. Now, whether you believe how, reliable that is as a news outlet or not, but I have seen a few people taking this source and recirculating it. But I think potentially there might be a bit in him not fitting into Allegri style of play, and that's potentially why they might be looking to shift them on. But this gets really weird, just to explain a little bit about this here. So they're talking about, the report came out that apparently he's Newcastle's dream signing, apparently. I don't know who they've been talking to for that. And Eddie Howe wants a more reliable goal scorer apart from Callum Wilson. And Vlahovic, fits the profile, apparently. So this is the bit where it gets crazy, so bear with us. Now, I'm going to shoot this right down in a minute. But according to this source, apparently, we are also willing to offer Alexander Isak to Juventus in order to sweeten the deal. Now, this I just cannot see at all, which makes me think this news might be utter bullshit. Isak has literally just got here. Yeah, he started like a house on fire. He came with a knock as well, I think Eddie Howe said, that Liverpool game, and he was immense. He scored again. He should have scored another goal again, I think, against Palace, where, he had that one-on-one. And he got his injury. Unfortunately, he's not at the World Cup anyway, but he's got his injury, and he's been laid down with that. But every time Eddie Howe has spoken about Alexander Isak, he's only ever said good things, and then Isak said very good things about the club, about the fans, and everything else. I cannot see us spending £63 million on a striker, him playing 3-4 games, getting injured, scoring 3 goals, and then being shifted out. I just cannot see that at all. I really can't. So that's the bit where I think this is in the bullshit pile. I've got no doubt that Dušan Vlahović might be a player that we're looking at in the future, but I really don't think that we will be looking to trade in on Alexander Isak very soon. We might be looking at Vlahović in the future, but I don't think Isak is part of that swap deal at all. So we can just put a pin in that straight away. And also, I don't think we'll bid for the lad in January. I think, if anything, this lad might come in if, hopefully, and when we finish in a Champions League position. If Newcastle United finish in a Champions League position come the end of the season, this is the kind of kid that we probably want to bring in, with Isak and Wilson. So you've got 3 quality strikers there. Yes, Isak can play in that front 3. If you have Callum Wilson in the middle, or if you sign Dušan Vlahović, you put him in the middle with Isak one side, maybe Mignolet, possibly Maddison on the other. You've got Maxi, you've got a nice bit of squad rotation there. PK pointed this out on the last Evermore that we did, that people like Man City can just roll these quality players in and out. When you play in European football and Premier League football, you have to have that squad depth. We don't have that right now. So this kid would be a brilliant signing for us if or when we qualify for Champions League. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you think Dušan Vlahović would be a good signing for Newcastle United. Tell us what you think about the Isak stories. I think it's utter bullshit, personally. I think someone's just been pissing around a chat manager or FIFA, to be brutally honest with you. But we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We always try and engage you in the comments as well. Make sure you like this video as well. It really helps the channel grow. But just before we shoot off, you can see there Mark's compared Dušan to Callum Wilson on the other side there. Callum Wilson and him are quite kind of pound for pound on goals. I think Dušan seems to be a kind of better dribbler with the ball, maybe a little bit better in assists. We've already said this about Callum Wilson. He's more of a goal scorer. Mind you, he had a great assist for England the other day. Maybe bring that back to the club when Isak's playing as well. But yeah, so I think, in terms of comparing with Wilson, we do need a future plan for Wilson, because Wilson isn't getting any younger. He's brilliant. We love him, but he's the wrong side of 30 now, and you need to be looking for a plan B. Isak obviously is in there as well. Vlahović could be that plan B, and Christ, we could play the 2 of them up front and have a front 2, which a lot of European clubs would kill for. And if we're a European club ourselves, in terms of playing in the best European competition in the world, in the Champions League, then why not get these guys? So you can see from his heat map there, he is a busy player, and Mark's also done the similar stats and kind of how he compares, to those types of players. And you can see some massive names in there. Patrick Schick is another player we talk about wanting to sign. You've got, Haaland's in there. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo. You've got Lukaku. So yeah, I mean, he's in good company there. There's no doubt about that at all. And I think it would be a very good signing, but I don't think it'll come at the expense of Alexander Isak, and I do not think it'll come in January. If anything, it could be something that we look for in the summer, once we're a top 4 qualified Champions League side. So that's us all wrapped up for another Rumour Has It, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like this video, And remember, as I said at the start, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Come and join us. We'd love you to come and join us. Try and push us to that 2,100 subscriber mark. And yeah, you won't regret it. We've got loads of content coming in the next few days. Loads more Rumour Has It videos. We've got a lot of players being linked to the club and some young players potentially landing as well. So keep your eye out for that, guys. Keep it evermore. Let's keep supporting that team. We'll call United. We'll catch you later. Cheers.